Organizational control. Okay, I know it sounds a little dry, right? Like something straight out of a business textbook. But here's the thing. It is one of the most critical, high-stakes functions of management. It's the invisible system that keeps a company on track, making sure that what's supposed to happen, well, actually happens.
And to really get why it's so important, you have to ask yourself, what happens when it all goes wrong? The answer can be absolutely catastrophic, which is exactly what happened with the New England Compounding Center, or NECC. This wasn't just some business oopsie, it turned into one of the worst public health disasters in US history. So what happened? Well, because of a complete and total breakdown in quality control, NECC shipped out tainted spinal steroid injections all across the country. And the result? Up to 14,000 patients, spread across 20 states, were exposed to fungal meningitis from those injections. And the human cost was just staggering. More than 100 people died. This whole tragedy is just a brutal reminder of why managerial control isn't just about spreadsheets and efficiency. Sometimes it is literally a matter of life and death.
So what is this thing we're talking about? At its very core, organizational control is the system that's designed to stop disasters like the one at NEC from ever happening. It's the whole process managers use to regulate what's going on and make sure the plan is actually the reality. Now, what's really fascinating is how simple the basic model is. It's this universal four-step loop. First, you set a standard. Like Hershey's wanting every single kiss to have that perfect little pointy tip. Second, you measure what's actually happening. Are the kisses pointy? Third, you compare. So when people started complaining about flat-topped kisses, Hershey knew something was off. And fourth, you take corrective action to fix it. It's just this simple, continuous feedback loop. But the how? That's where things get really interesting today. The whole philosophy behind control is changing. That classic top-down, do-it-because-I-said-so model? It's not the only game in town anymore. And this sets up a huge tension in modern management.
And that tension basically boils down to two opposing philosophies. On one side, you've got hierarchical control. This approach kind of assumes people can't really be trusted, so you need close supervision, a ton of rules, and formal policies. And on the other side, decentralized control. This one relies on shared values, on trust, and on people's own self-control. It assumes people want to do a good job without a boss breathing down their neck.
Here is a perfect example of that hierarchical approach. Kimberly-Clark, the company that makes Kleenex, they use this special software to track every employee's progress on their goals. As one of their VPs put it, with this system, people can't duck and hide. It's a crystal clear, top-down system where technology is there to enforce the standards.
Okay, now let's flip the script and look at the opposite. At a Campbell Soup plant, they started doing these daily huddles with workers and managers. And you know what happened? The employees themselves came up with ideas like color-coding valves and cutting little windows into machine covers so they could see inside. The result? A 10% boost in operating efficiency. That's control coming from the bottom up, through empowerment.
TQM, or total quality management, is one of the most powerful forms of this decentralized idea. The whole goal is to make quality part of everyone's job every single day, instead of just having some inspector at the end of the line. It's all about teamwork, making the customer happy, and making small, constant improvements. And TQM isn't just a feel-good philosophy. It actually comes with a really powerful toolkit to empower employees. You have things like quality circles, which turn workers into problem solvers. And then there's kaizen, the whole idea of continuous improvement, which makes tiny, positive changes just part of the daily routine. The big idea is that quality isn't dictated from an office. It's built by everyone every day. And to give you a sense of just how ambitious this can get, just look at Six Sigma. Its goal is a quality standard of no more than 3.4 defects per million. Think about that. That's being basically perfect 99.9997% of the time. It is a relentless, hardcore pursuit of perfection. Now, let's switch back and look at a super modern, high-tech version of the hierarchical model. It's called algorithmic control. This is where software literally takes over a bunch of management jobs. It sets your goals, it measures your every move, it gives you feedback, and it can even decide how much you get paid. And this is not science fiction. It is happening everywhere right now. Uber's algorithms watch everything a driver does, from their acceptance rate to how passengers rate them. UPS trucks have hundreds of sensors tracking backup speeds, stop times, you name it. And all that info goes to a supervisor in real time. It's constant, incredibly detailed monitoring. So you might be asking, why are companies doing this? Well, the bottom line results can be pretty jaw-dropping. After a company called United Grocers brought in an electronic tasking system, they cut their payroll by 25%. And get this, their sales went up by 36%. I mean, those numbers are tough to argue with. But there is a human cost. This quote from a UPS driver is just so powerful. The constant pressure, that feeling of not being trusted, it can just crush morale and create these really unhealthy levels of stress. It makes you ask a huge question about what kind of workplaces we're actually trying to create. You know, whether a company uses a mental whip or empowers its teams, if it can't control its finances, none of the rest of it matters. As the journalist Victoria Finkel puts it, ignoring the money is one of the biggest threats your business can face. And this right here is how managers keep score. You're looking at some of the key financial ratios they use every day. Now, don't worry about all the formulas. Just think of these as a doctor's dashboard for the company's health. They answer really critical questions like, hey, can we pay our bills this month? Are we using our assets efficiently? And the big one, are we actually making any money? These numbers are the vital signs that tell a manager if the whole organization is healthy or in deep trouble. Which brings us right back to the central choice. We have these unbelievable new technologies for control, tools that let managers monitor things on a scale we've never ever seen before. But we also know that trust and empowerment can unlock incredible gains in innovation and efficiency. So this is the question we're all left with. As we build the future of work, which path are we going to choose? More trust or more control?